Hello and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Realms. It's me, Flying Magpies, and I'm here in the realm once again. I believe this is now episode 25, and I had something incredibly special planned for this episode. So what I'm planning to do is stay in first person, and what I was planning to do was do an entire world tour of every single person's that I can find in the realm. I can do an entire tour of their bases, and I thought what better place to start than my own base. Now, this is where it all started. This was the very first place where I started building things, and you can see through here my very first house was a little bedroom house, literally a room with a bed in it, so bedroom. And you can see the vestiges of a prank that the roller ate. What did he do? He pranked me with putting stuff in here. Actually, I'm not sure if there's a gold block up here anymore. I might have already removed it. Yes, I did. Anyway, so that is something that I did first, and I also got myself an enchanting room pretty early on, which I hadn't stepped in for a long time. You can also see through here my very first view, what do you call them, the animal farms that I started with. So this was originally a chicken farm with an automatic lava and chicken killer, as well as my sheep and cow farms, which I've now since decommissioned. Just a lot of things over here. So this was my blacksmith. You can see the cauldron in there with the fire, and the cauldron with the slightly dead fire, but you can still see the glowing coals. That was the idea behind here. My first wheat farm, my original set of furnaces which I used early on. I believe there might actually be a couple of things in here. There's a bit of iron in there, as you can see. Moving over here, you can see my smelting room. Not my smelting room, my potion room, as well as my nether wart farm and my bamboo farm. Just a lot of things that I've gradually built over time. And if we move off in this direction, we can now see my super smelter, which you probably saw as I was moving around a lot, and the entrance to my I've lost for words. That is the input for my storage system, which I'll now show you. Now, if we come down here, we can see that this is actually a monstrosity of a build. It's just really, really big. So all the non-sortables go on this side, the axes, the pickaxes and swords and whatnot. Then we go off with the mob drops and the woods on this side, the stones on this side over here, prismarine, the redstone supplies, and all the coloured things at the back. So this thing can store pretty much any item except ice and snow, which I don't really have a farm for yet. If we move over to this side of my base, we can see that there's a little bit more stuff coming over here. We can see where I've stored my horses now. We can see that this is the first of the iron farms that I built, and I need to remember to eat. Yes, so this is the first of the iron farms I built, and it's doing reasonably well. There's a few stacks of iron and poppies in there. We can see over here in recent episodes that what I built, the cactus farm, a melon and pumpkin farm, which doesn't seem to be working that well. The minecart underneath it must be broken. You can see my sugarcane farm in here, another storage system which has me meat and my storage for the vegetables, and some trading stations for the villagers. We can see my automatic farms up here, my meat farm over here. This is actually someone else's build that joined the realm, and I don't think I've really seen them since, but it's a pretty good build. We can see my church and my pastor's lodge, which I actually haven't done anything in since. And then what I've been working on in recent days, another iron farm which is pretty active, ship chandlery, another house which I've built off camera since. So this is just, I'm not sure what this is going to be, but I'm thinking a hotel. As you can see, it's still a work in progress. Put this flag over here. If we move over here, we can see that I'm not very good at flying, but never mind. We can see some of the ships that I've built and some of the other things in my harbour town. Let me just get up and away, and here we go. You can see the lighthouse there. We can see my buildings and my slowly developing harbour town. If we move off in this direction, we can see another industrial part of my base, which is both the cocoa farm, which I just flew over, as well as my automatic or semi-automatic tree farm, and my fully non-automatic dark oak farm. So this is where I've built pretty early, and I've been relying on this to both stock up my log shop at the shops, as well as keep myself supplied with wood. But anyway, I think that's just about all the stuff in my base. Now it's time to move on to the closest neighbours to me. And we're here at the first base that I'm going to explore for today. This is, I believe, Mr. Green Thumb's base. As you can see, he's got a nice house over here full of cracked stone and spruce and oak and jungle and acacia logs. So I think that's a very nice house. I've probably a little bit over detailed, but I think it's still a very nice house. I probably should try and see if I can get a couple of these into my own base somewhere, although I'm not sure it'll quite fit the style. If we come over here, these are some of his other things. You can see, I think that's a smelter over here with a chimney. You can see some of his house in here, which I'll just go in the top a bit here. So you can see both my Lego, which I gave him one of, and the rest of his land, which he's probably claimed. And yeah, so I think he's one of the newer members of the realm, so you can see he hasn't quite gotten to the stage where I have with fully automatic stuff and all that, but it's still a very good build style, which I like over here. Just fitting into the landscape rather than just demolishing it to suit our purposes. Now our next member is just off in this direction, I think. Just over the hills, and we can see over here this person actually hasn't been in the realm much. His original name was Starstrider. I can't quite remember what his current name is, but you can see he's got a rather good building style as well, and although you can't really see because he hasn't been in a while. So this is what he started with, his starter house and all these animals, and wheat, and lava pool, which I need to make sure I don't fall in. But overall, not much going on in this area. Now it's time to go over to the base of perhaps the biggest, some of the bigger builders in the realm. And we're just approaching it now. We can see that these guys also do some of their automatic farms. I believe this is the house of Waffly Egg or Gamer Guy, as well as Il Snowhound. So you can see here that they've got quite a bit of trees. They got their nice dark oak farms. They got a chicken farm here, an iron farm which I built for them. What else? I believe there's other things going on around here. They've got a trading hall in here, a villager farm, and villager collection system, a dragon head which they built, and what else? There's quite a few things, as well as a zombie which I'll get rid of. Nether portal, which actually, what? Well, there's two nether portals. That's a bit odd. I'm not sure why that is, but I don't know. And if we move off in this direction, you can just see that there's a little bit of something going off in this direction. And I believe this is a witch farm. So they're very clever guys, very technical guys, so it's very nice to have them in the realm. And let's see, I'm not sure if there is anything going on in here at the moment. I might be wrong, but let's see. Is there a way to kill witches in here? Doesn't really look like it. I'm not sure if this thing is working. They might have to give me a tutorial at some point, but that is a future problem. Anyway, so we'll just fly over this space. You can see it's probably about the same size and land space as mine, but again, they weren't at the start of the realm, so they have done a pretty good job since. Now I think we'll go off in this direction, because this should take us back to my base, and then we will go in a little bit of a loop from my base towards the shopping district. And as we approach spawn, we can now see the base of, I think this is Poisonous Sheets. I'm not quite sure on that, but again, they've got a rather good building style. I haven't really seen them in the realm, otherwise we'd probably see a lot more of this around. Let's enter the house. It doesn't really have much in it. And what else? Yeah, this is still a rather plain build, but I'm sure that if they were to come back, they'd decorate this thing really well. If there's a bed nearby, I can sleep and make sure this is day. Is there a bed in here? Doesn't look like it. There's a bed in here though, and we can see we're just coming up to what is spawn at the moment. So this thing here was built at spawn, and when I sleep I'm going to say hi to that guy. And sleep. Jai, I meant hi. Anyway, so we can see some of the things that now this is the work of Featherstorm, as you can see here. The hotel at the start of spawn, so I suppose you could come here and sleep if you're still new to the realm and all that. I'm not quite sure who built this glass structure, but it's quite a nice thing to mark where spawn is. I'd always forget where it is. Now, if we jump off in this creeper hole, we'll take a flight, and we can see that there's stuff in this direction. Now, ignore this for now. This was from a failed project that we tried. This, I believe here we have ties 205s and not has a 1441 space. I'm not quite, and you can see, oh, this is actually quite a nice thing. They seem to have deactivated this side of the iron farm, and as well as decorated it a bit, which is quite nice to see. Yeah, very nice. I like it a lot. Anyway, moving over here, I believe we can see that we have their crop farms. I believe they've got a villager farm in this direction, and probably the workings of a villager trading hall in here, if I'm right. I think so. If we go down a couple more steps, we'll probably see more. Not decorated, but you can see there's villager stations, and I believe this goes all the way down to bedrock. So quite a good work here as well. Now, I'm not sure where this goes, but I won't bother exploring it. So most of Tice's stuff is underground, except for this massive tree. I think that's actually Harry's, or Hazza, as they call him. Ah yes, and this is their chorus tree farm. You can see a couple of buildings dotted around spawn, which is nice to see, but if we come up in this direction, we can see one of the other projects that we worked on. I think it's about episode 16, 17, I forget. Ooh, rabbits. This is being the Project Y base, and we'll probably see a lot more of this in the future episodes as I begin to work on this. We can see the work I put into the aquarium, as well as all the white stuff, white concrete. No, sorry, this is quartz, isn't it? White quartz and all the other things as I waste my rockets. Now let me just put some into my inventory. There we go. And so this is something that we're going to be working on in the future. And so yeah. Now if we come off in this direction, and you can see that since there aren't that many cuts, that a lot of people are actually very close to each other. I believe this is the villager farm that Tice has, but more importantly, this is Featherstorm's base, and you can see that she is actually. This is quite a good build, actually. Quite a lot of builds. I'm not sure what's in here. Just chests. There's a lot of flowers, a lot of decorations, things that I'm not very good at. The mine, which I won't explore. Upstairs and downstairs, I'm not sure what is in here. There's quite a bit of stuff. Ooh, here we go. There's a sugarcane farm, a smelter, a snow golem, a snow farm, I guess, a kelp farm, which is something I need to remember to build. And if we come upstairs, a long way upstairs, you can see some of the decorations she's done, some of the sheep farms, the cow farms, chicken farm, another bedroom just like mine. And yeah, oh, ice. She's got silk touch, I assume. So that's quite a good stuff, and I also like the building style. I'll come out, and if I can fly, here we go. So you can see that she has got quite a few things, including a helipad, I guess. Oh, this is new. I guess this is a tower from which to spy upon everyone, or just overlook her realm. It's quite an impressive structure. I very much like it. Anyway, moving on from there, there's actually another neighbour close to me which I forgot to see, and that's Marvel Truck Gaming. I don't think there's really that much in here, but that wasn't the neighbour I was speaking of. The neighbour is... where is he? I don't think he's online. Oh wait, no, there he is. It's the same person who I came on earlier. I'll just reassure him. There we go, I'm not tagged. Because I tagged off camera, so yes. Just give me a minute and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm now here in XXJNDGXX base, I believe. And he's just right there, so XXJD and GXX. You know, I said this, he's not really been in the realm for very long either, so you can see he's actually done quite a bit of progress. There's quite a nice dug into the mountain kind of base. I'll come down here. If I can remember which one sends me down. There we go. He's got himself connected to the nether portal. You can see his base over here. Another jutting out into the ocean a little bit. I'm not really sure what's around here. Oh, I know that one sends me down. This one sends me up. And another part of his base. I'm not really sure what's going on around here, but I guess he's got a good plan. And you can see exactly how close we are. We can see that this is actually my stables and my iron farm just over there. So, not a lot going on around here, but I'm sure we'll see great things when we do our next world tour, probably around episode 50 or so. Anyway, moving on. I believe now we can finally get on to the we can finally get on to the shopping district which we started. And here we are arriving at the shopping district, and first off I'll leave that for now because that's a rather impressive build. We'll go through the shops and see exactly what's happened. Not much has happened. I originally started this as a shopping mall or shopping center where people were going to build in things like style like this and just have it shops individually, but not everyone got the memo unfortunately, and some people built quote-unquote out of style, but it doesn't really matter because there aren't actually that many shops in here. So we can see there's a mine shop thing. You can either buy stones, which I think it's Featherstorm's shop I believe, yes, so she's now restocked her shop, which is nice. I have bought from this shop before. There's also a mine reward, so you can give her a diamond and she'll mine for 30 minutes or however long it is. And there's also some stuff in here. So I did buy some granite and some andesite because those were the things I needed. We can see Tice is very it doesn't pay for get a lot, but you can see his vegetable shop, so I'm sure I've bought from here in the past, but not very often since I have my own means of getting these resources. It's a good idea, but I don't think it's gonna work that well, unfortunately, but who knows. Then I think we have Harry's bookshop, which is forever out of stock. Say opening the one thing that has the chest to have stock. But yeah, this is a good one if you want to get some books, and there's a lot of aqua affinity in here. Projectile protection, knockback, so I definitely recommend this shop if someone's starting out for the first time and has a lot of diamonds but needs to stock up on resources. If we come round here, we have a stone shop as well, which I don't think has any stock in it. We can see KY Cat's Jeffrey's redstone sortist shop actually, but it doesn't actually have. I don't think he's going to be doing anything in the realm for a little while, so I don't think this shop is actually open. We have a trident shop which still hasn't sold anything since I first saw it. And we have Rawler's redstone shop, which has been a lifesaver. I've bought a lot of rockets from here, and repeat comparators and repeaters and all the redstone supplies, as well as ender chests, which I kept losing. And we can see the mighty lock shop, which has probably earned me more than 90% of my diamonds in the realm. It's a simple matter of just cutting down a whole stack of logs using my log farm back on base. And you can see that I don't actually have any more profit from here in a while, but it's good. It's good. And of course we have my famous iron farm shop, which I showcased I believe in episode 3 or 4, I can't remember. It's been probably my biggest earner aside from the log shop, because we also sell iron from my overproductive iron farms, as well as build iron farms for people. So I believe actually I raw Vapor 2 iron farms. He never told me where he wanted them, so if and when he comes back to the realm, I owe him those two. Now we come to perhaps one of the best things built in the realm, and I'll just sleep. And that's even beating my own builds. I believe this is probably one, if not the best build in the realm. It's very close to it. It's really massive structure made entirely out of brick. Well, and brick, grey glass, and stone, green concrete powder. There's a lot of things, if I'm honest, and quartz. I really like this build. Not quite sure what it is. I think it's a bit like a castle, with towers. I'm not sure if there's anything up there. And did I mention that this is the work of the ruler? I'm not sure I did, but if we come up front to the front, it's really impressive. You can see a clock tower. These things are probably 20, 30 blocks tall. And you can see he's working on garden beds, guard towers, I assume this is. I guess this looks a bit like Buckingham Palace or something like that. Nothing yet on the inside, but I'm sure we'll see great things soon. And something very similar to what I tried to do with my town centre fountain, which I think his is actually better. And you can see the grass and the faux grass. And just a walkway going all the way around, making use of some of the new blocks. The torches, the stone fences. So they're called the stone brick fences, or walls as they're called. More walkways. This is just a really, really impressive build, and I look forward to seeing what else this is going to be. Now, I know very near the shopping district is one of the builds that we worked on just last episode, in fact. And so I will show you again. You can see it is my logo. Thankfully nothing has been touched since, but this is something that took me a long time to do. Now I need to go check exactly who else I have forgotten, because there's a couple of people here and there. You can still see a few houses thereabouts, but there's one more base at the very least I need to check. Now, this isn't the base that I promised I'd say, but this is actually Tice's and Harry's base, not Hazza, as they call themselves. So you can see that without me falling into the water streams, that this is probably their main base of operations. A big underground area with trees. I think this is their original crop farms, some sugarcane farms, the cocoa bean farm, another portal, so just various things dotted around here. And of course their home and some of the other things that we saw on this side. So I believe now we need to hop into the Nether and go to our farthest residence actually. There's a few more bases I forgot, but I'm going to hop into the Nether and get there when I can. Now I forget exactly whose base this is, but this is another place where I built an iron farm, and they've got some massive spruce trees. I believe this is EWW headshots, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, they don't seem to have done as much work in here. You can see that they've got a couple of villagers, which thankfully haven't been turned into zombies. We can see they've got a fair bit of stuff around here, but I don't think this is going to be one of the highlights of the tour. We'll see. Ooh, they do have sea lanterns, so they do know about the Guardian farm, which is going to be next on my list. We have almost a fully grown bit of wheat and carrots and some of these things. So all in all, not the biggest built base I've seen, but there are still more to be seen. Now, if I come through here and don't get myself killed by ghast and eat, we can get across to what the next base is. And that, I think actually no, I'll leave that base for last. What I'm going to do is I'll come across the Guardian farm, because that is perhaps one of the biggest things that we've accomplished so far this season. And when I say we, I mean Ivor. Ivor Vapor completely headed up this project pretty much by himself. I'm not going to have enough rockets, am I? I hope I've got some in my ender chest, and I hope there's an ender chest down here somewhere. But I think if not, I'm going to have to either craft my own or what's the word? Go without. Anyway, moving along through here, we have our Guardian farm. Now, if we come down here, we can see the killing chamber, and someone's left a shulker box. I rotted. Anyway, you can see through here. This is where they would come down. They spawn in the overworld and come down to here, and that's what I'll show you next. Actually, was there an ender chest down there? I didn't register if there was. No, there isn't. That's a pity. Anyway, if we come back up here and re-enter the overworld, we can see exactly the scale of this project. Assuming I can get my rockets back, of course. Oh, actually done something with this area. He's actually spawn-proofed it. Or he's actually mob-proofed it or something. What's the word? Some signs around here which say nothing. There are... oh, yes, this is an AFK section. Now, I don't think I'm going to have enough rockets, so I'm going to have to use these sparingly. And that was not sparingly. I've just wasted one. Thankfully I've got my Riptide Trident, so I should be able to fly. And we can see that this is actually a very big build. You can see a lot of Prismarine, you can see the AFK zone up there. Each of these things is supposed to... is where a Guardian spawning zone is in Bedrock. So what Iroh's done is he's put it in such a way that... oh, there's sand. Free sand. I'll leave that for him. What he's done is put it in such a way that all the Guardians are going to spawn into these portals and then immediately get teleported into the other portal you saw down there. So there'd be there's one below where we came out into this area, and they all spawned there and then drop into the kill zone we saw earlier. And we actually have another iron farm which I built for Iroh as well. Is there much in here? A little bit of stuff. And there's actually an advantage with this one, being over the ocean. Occasionally fish spawn and they get killed and cooked. Now I believe it's finally time to turn to what I would consider the most impressive base this season. Now as we pop out of the nether, we can see exactly that this is it's probably a little bit crowded, but we can see that just the colour and textures, the browns and the greys, the brown concrete powder, just the scale of the houses. Some of these actually newer buildings, I actually haven't observed them as much. I think this is a bit of a kitchen. This is probably a living house, and this is Iroh Vapor's house. If I forgot to say that earlier, you can see that I believe his strength here is what's the word, terraforming and making it look good. So I'm not quite sure what's down here, because I don't think I've had the opportunity to come down here often. This could be his mine, actually. Which... no, I don't think I've been down here before. This is probably a bit of a secret one, so I'm not sure if I should be showing this, but I think it's quite an impressive build down there. Well, there's more to come. Well, let's just leave it at that, shall we? So we have his what looked like to be a mine entrance, or some impressive build going on down there. We have his main base of operations, and there's storage down there. He's actually got 5 beacons as you can see in the top, in the right hand side. This is another house, another storage system down there, a smelter down there. Just lots of things that I tend to do as well, but I think he does it a lot better. And we can see, if we come down here, I'm getting lost. There's a waterfall, there's another building which doesn't look as complete. There is... what's this one? This is... I'm not quite sure what this one is, actually. Ooh, I think this one might be a vine farm, that's an interesting concept. I think I need one of those as well. We have his farms, which aren't as good as mine. Okay. They're not as good as mine in the fact that mine are automatic and his are not. Not sure what this is yet, but I guess we'll find out one day. If we come in this direction, we can see he's been mining out something. I'm not sure what this is yet for. Oh, this must be a mob farm, actually. So that's going to be interesting if he completes it, if and when he completes it. If we come around through here, there is a very lit up area. Wood farms, tree farms. We can see what looks essentially like a little bit like a pillager outpost, which comes out in 1.11 if you're wondering. But we can see another one of his builds. You can see that he tends to build quite similar to me, a lot of spruce, a lot of logs, and things like that. So all in all, I think this is quite a good base. There's, however, still a lot to go on. I think now that it's raining, I can take a flight. We can see... oh yes, this is his sugarcane farm. I'm not sure how to get in, even if I do need to be able to get in. Here we go. So it's very, very, very green, I'd say. But I guess that fits. And you can see, just like mine, there's a bit of a loss where the sugarcane goes over the pistons, but you can't really help that if you're going to use redstone. Now if we come through here again, oh no, that didn't work. We'll come round to here, and I believe we've got, I'm not sure what this house is, but this is on the other side of that river where the nether portal is. I guess this is his villager trading station, which he had a video on, or it started his villager trading station. There's shulker boxes. I think one thing I'll say for him is a really good decorator. The texture packs, not the texture packs, just the textures mixed together really set off the thing quite nicely. I don't think I can yet do the same thing. If we move up through here, and once again take flight when I'm in rain, like so. We've got a oh no. We've got a gold farm. Now I'm not sure how this works. If we need to AFK here, or if we need to AFK in the nether or whatnot. But anyway, it seems to be, it's not working. It doesn't have a lot of pigment in it yet because I haven't been here for very long. But I guess that's something that can be sorted out at a future date. That can be sorted out by him, and that wasn't very smart. Now, it's probably the most impressive build, and I'm going to come round to here and show you it in its entirety. Kind of like mine, because this is probably, again, the most spread out base, and I need to make sure I don't die. Or that it's... Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. You can see his mob farm, his entire base, houses everywhere. Just, it's really, really... It's more impressive from the ground, I'll say that. There's more tech things. He's done it well to make it look like it fit into a forest, I think. That might be his theme, actually. Just a lot of spruce forest, and then fitting the houses to match the style. So that's why every building has spruce in it, because that's naturally what the build is. If someone was coming into, a real life person was coming into this, they'd naturally build out of spruce because it's all around them. Anyway, I'm just trying to think if there's more things that I need to show off. And there's his nether tunnel over here. I'm not going to fly because I don't have any. Oh, I've got one rocket. That's not going to be enough. I'm sure... Oh yeah, there's one more base I need to show you, I think. And that is Tice's other base. It's in his sand zone, so I'll get there over there and then show you that base. I know I keep saying I've got one more base to find, I've got one more base to show you, but actually there's just so many people online, so many things that I keep forgetting that it's just impossible for me to actually make sure that I've got everyone. Now this is Tice 205's desert base, and you can see that over here he's got a much bigger cactus farm than I have, and he's left some sugar boxes out here. But you can also see that his acacia trees, I'm guessing he's going to build this out of acacia, and he's got a sugarcane wall over here, and you can see, I believe he's planned out all his houses around here. Can I kill these bunnies? No. Oh, I can. There we go. So I'm not sure if I should have done that, but you can see that Tice has planned out all his buildings, and I'm guessing that there's something down there that he can... Yeah, this must be the entrance for the cactus farm. There's not a lot in here, other than a really good pickaxe, which he's missing. But I guess he can find that another day. Now, how do I get out of here? There we go. Again, I don't want to really fly, but we can see that he's also got a sort of very similar to the one I've got back at my base. I'm not sure if he's actually got anything stored up in it yet, but I guess not. Now, I think I'm right in saying there's two more bases I want to show you. 2 more bases which are relatively close to here. Still a bit of a couple minutes walk. So once again I'll go back, I'll walk the distance and I'll show you those last 2 bases. And here we have the Rawler's other base. I believe this was originally going to be part of Clan 1 when we had the idea of having clans instead of just everyone going off and doing their own thing. So yeah, I like this idea. I mean, we've got the, what do you call them, the scaffolding as windows, we've got the grass. This is not as over textured as what I would call iRaws, but it's still rather good. Still a rather good base. We can see that it's nice and simple, which I do like, and yet still there's a fair amount of texture to make it look pretty, which is something that I'm not as good as. I think I'm good at just building a house and making it fit into a town aspect, which is something I'm probably going to change up for next season. Now we have Shelf Pig. Can we get him to look at us? Yes, we can. But I don't think he's going to come out there. I'm not really sure. Please do not touch him. Must resist urge to touch. There we go. Anyway, I believe that Cat's Jeffrey also has a base around here somewhere. I'm not quite sure which direction. If I can fly, which I can. Might have to use my 1 rocket left to fly, because I think it's over here. Can I make it? No. Ow, that didn't work. But I believe we're over here somewhere. Let's not get killed by the skelly. Is there a way up there without pillaring? Because I don't want to have to pillar. There appears to be entry. So this is Cat's Jeffrey's base. And if we come up through here, we can see that it's not. He hasn't been as active in the realm as of late, but I believe it's still a rather good start. I don't think there's as many things around here to show off, other than just rotten flesh moving about and a rather good sugarcane farm up here as well. It's a fair amount of stuff. If I left this loaded, you would get a lot more. There's snow layers, so perhaps he could open a snow farm at some point. Let's see what else is there. He has a beacon, which is nice. There's a mine down there, I assume. Some storage. That's a fair amount of stuff. Excuse me, someone just sent me a message on Discord. I'll be right back. Well, it turns out that message wasn't for me. Anyway, so we can see around through here there's still quite a bit of stuff, and I just fell in this hole. Where's my pickaxe? That's just too fast. I suppose that's what you get when you have haste, whatever it is, haste 5, haste 2, I assume. So, I believe that with the rest, that's everyone's base. I'm going to head back to mine while I think about if there is any more bases, and then I'll come back and bid you adieu. And over here we've got the blaze farm that I built earlier. So this is the original way I was thinking of getting a whole stack of XP. However, I think the crop farms that I've got, and the villagers that I've got back at my base are going to suit just fine. They're not really dying as quickly as I thought they were, but it's still a rather effective way of getting XP if you're still rather early on in the game. And coming out of the nether, I've just discovered this thing, so I guess it's a prank or something, I'm not really sure. Let's look at it. In fact, I think actually there was I think it was a present. I looked at it just before I started the camera. It said, a present from Bird. I'm not really sure who that is, but let's have a look. Hello, flying magpies. You have been left a present. You shall find it in the land of the dead, where the mighty steeds lie. I guess that should steeds. I think that should be steeds. Anyway, if you find it, you shall be pleased. And yeah, I don't really know what else to write. Have fun looking for it. Well, land of the steeds. I guess that would be a horse pin, and land of the dead. That would be where there's a whole stack of dead horses, like here, for instance. So that I'm not yet sure which one it is. Oh, there's a chest. That's not what I wanted. Ooh, andesite. Lots and lots and lots of andesite. Wait a minute. That was a bit of an X. I think I know who sent this. I don't have room for everything either. I think it was that XXJND person who sent it, who gave it to me. So thank you very much for that. That's a very nice clue, and I think I solved it really, really quickly as well. Although that said, I don't think it was that hard. Mighty steeds, which means horses, and then land of the dead, so dead horses. If you put it all together, I think I'm the only one to have more than 1 or 2 dead horses. So a relatively easy thing. So now I've got a whole stack of andesite, which I usually do like building with, especially now that the texture's changed. So that is something I think you'll see me building a lot with. So, and that is just about the end of my world tour. After I collect that andesite again, you can still see the remnants of the prank that quote-unquote lava man gave me. If we can get this horse off my chest again. See, so at some point I'm probably going to clean that up, probably next episode. But I hope you've enjoyed this, again, different episode of Minecraft Realms, and if you have, remember to leave a like and subscribe. I am aware it is a slightly longer episode than normal, probably just about double the normal length, but it is a world tour episode, and I hope you enjoyed seeing everyone's bases around town and around the world and catching up with what people are doing. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.